Hey, it's Greg Milby, community storyteller for Kentucky's Heartland. And, I love sharing stories about things that are going on in the community. And today we're talking to Myra Covault with Hardin Memorial. She's vice president and chief human resources officer. But something you're probably not used to doing, Myra, we are not talking COVID, which I don't know if you can handle this or not. Is that something you can make sure you think you can handle?
I'm going to try, Greg, and frankly, I am ecstatic at the idea of focusing on something not COVID related, and frankly, is kind of fun and positive for a lot of different people. So, yes, I think I'm ready for the challenge.
Yeah, I do like the positivity of this because
Yes.
I love second chances because everybody deserves an opportunity for a second chance. And so we're talking about the expungement benefit program at Hard Memorial Health. So one, first of all, is how did this program get started? Because it's definitely unique.
Sure. Well, I was attending the Lincoln Trail Workforce Development Board's Workforce Crisis Task Force, and that's a mouthful. But
That's a lot.
basically, I know it is. It was local community members. It's education, it's businesses, it's employers, it's community partners. We all got together last summer and tried to really tackle the workforce shortage that we had at the time. Obviously, COVID has changed a lot, but Kentucky had a lot of open spots and not a lot of talent to fill those spots, and we feel that the very much at HMH because there's shortage of so many different professions, but just in general, we wanted to try to do what we could to help improve our odds at increasing talent, and so uh, came to the task force really trying to just network, share ideas, best practices, brainstorm. And the Removing Obstacles subcommittee of that task force talked about how there are individuals out in our community that, because of felony convictions from their past, don't have an opportunity to have gainful employment. In some cases, they can't volunteer at their children's daycare or school because of those convictions. These are individuals that just had obstacles in their lives. And they actually showed a video of a young gal who had made a stupid mistake in her youth, something that she very much regretted and resulted in a felony conviction. And this was probably 7 or 8 years ago, but she said she will forever have that in her record and how it really kind of impacted her ability to get employment, something that she could feel good about and could sustain her over time. And I remember just sitting there looking at her and thinking, well, this is ridiculous. We've got people in the community who want to work but can't. I'm an employer who has jobs that can't find people to stay over the long haul. And in today's environment, I'm saying, 12 months, 16, 18 months, gone are the times when people would stay with one employer for 5 or 10 years. I want someone who will work for us over a period of time and be vested in staying with HMH. And so I got up and I said, if she wants a job, I am willing to give her one. If she needs money to offset the costs of expungement, I'm willing to give that to her over time. It can be a win-win. Why can't we come up with something that's mutually beneficial? She's talking about she would love to expunge her record, but it costs money to do so. And if it's a choice between rent and putting money aside to have, for life's goal, like to have expungement, she's going to take rent. She's going to take groceries. And a lot of people are in the same boat. And Julia Springsteen and Dr. Lovell at WKU said, we'll sit down and talk with you about making that happen. And it really was just a group of people vested in this end goal. How can we make expungement possible for people who have that as a life goal, but don't have the funds to do so? And we worked through various processes and landed at, I think, a very simple process by which, for a period of time, we'll give you a certain amount of funds. You hit the fund level that covers your expungement costs. We cut a check to the county clerk's office where the charges are, and that in Timmy's case, she was able to take that check and go get her record expunged. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. But
Hmm.
it just really started with, watching one person's story and opening up dialogue with other community partners saying, how do we make this work? And we did. And I'm really proud to be able to say that it seems to be working. At least our first test case, it was. So
Definitely unique because you've got needs for, as you mentioned, needs for people for jobs, and they've got needs to have jobs. So, how long does somebody have to be employed at HMH before they can get into the program, and how does that work? So, if somebody watching this right now is like, that's me, and I would like to look into to getting into that program, what's the process? How long do they need to be there?
Sure. Well, first of all, to be eligible for expungement, it has to be a certain level of felony convictions. We're not talking murders or sex offenses. There's a certain class of felonies that make you eligible for expungements. For example, it's things like possession of controlled substances, it's receiving stolen property, non-support. So, I mean, we're talking about nonviolent crimes. Then you have to have 5 years of no criminal activity, so no further convictions. Then it's at that point you become eligible for expungement. So if in our program, for every 12 months of good employment, we will set aside $1,000. And in the interesting thing about the person whose video that I saw at that crisis workforce summit, turns out she actually happened to work for us already. She had just she was employed at HMH. And I just thought, what a perfect test case. So we really worked with her, Timmy Michelle Tolhurst. She said, sure, I'll be your guinea pig. We worked with her. She was eligible for expungement. She had a period of employment with us already that we set aside that money. She was able to take a check that we had issued for her, made payable again to Hardin County clerk. So this isn't money that the person is benefiting directly from, but she took that check down to the county clerk's office. Period of time went by. She got her statement that said you now have a clear record. She had a background check done on herself, and she was proud to report that for the first time in her life, she had a clear background check, and she just beamed with pride. And it was extremely fulfilling watching her story unfold that way. But our program is set up for 12 months. For every 12 months, we set aside $1,000 to a maximum of $5,000. And the hope is that if someone has attained the number that they need after 12 months or 24 months, that they're so ingrained in our culture, they so love being an employee of HMH that they don't feel the need to go elsewhere. And frankly, that's the win for us. We've got an employee that's been with us, it's dedicated for that 12, 24 months, but probably beyond that. And as an employer, boy, that's half the battle in today's world. It's attracting them to your place of business and keeping them over that period of time. So it's a win for us. It's a win for the employee. They've got that savings that they can then take and help offset a stupid mistake that they did years ago. But so that's how our program works. We really allowed it to be very flexible so that other businesses can copy, mirror kind of the template, the agreements. We tried to make it as easy as possible for other businesses to replicate. So that's kind of our goal.
I think it's awesome. And I can tell, where you're talking about the first case, you could see the excitement in them when they got the expungement. I can see the excitement in you being able to tell the story of this successful program. And it is a great successful program, and their community deserves to hear about it because one, it shows that everybody again deserves a second chance, but it also shows that other businesses could follow along in the same path. So why should other businesses start an expungement benefit program? Why do you think that's so important?
If we look at just solely from the business perspective, I don't know an employer out there that can say, I have a ready pool of people who want to work for me, want to work what it work hard and stay with me over the long term. I have yet to talk to anybody that can honestly say that. They may be out there and they're blessed, and that's great. But at HMH, we have the same struggles as any other business in that, finding people to work in all variety of jobs and stay over the long term, again, 1 year, 2 years plus, is a challenge. And so this is a way for people to have a pathway to employment, have a vested interest in staying longer term, and hopefully, again, be so ingrained in us as an employer, in our culture, see what we were willing to do in partnership with this person that they'd want to stay long term. If I'm able to do that with someone who wants to work, I think that's a no-brainer. So from a business perspective, it meets my need. I've now got an engaged, dedicated workforce who I know that they know we're going to do what we can to advocate on their behalf. From the employee's perspective, they've got a job that hopefully they feel that their employer senses that we care for them. They're working toward a personal goal that they've not been able to meet before, and one day can honestly say, I now have a clear background check. From a community perspective, why not have people earning a wage, feeling good about being a part of the workforce, being able to pay taxes to your local community? I mean, there's so many positives here. Honestly, I don't see where there's a negative, and there's not a reason for any business to not at least try it. Again, I keep coming back to no-brainer, and there's so many different reasons to do this, and no reason I can see not to.
I agree. It is it seems like a no brainer. So that brings me to this final question, because you've done it. I mean, you're not here to sell the program, but you've done a great job selling the program. If you ever get tired of working in HR, I'm sure the Swope family dealerships would love to have you as a car salesman, because you've done a really good job selling this program. But it seems to me that it's an easy program to sell because it has, as you said, a benefit and a win for both sides. So how do businesses start an expungement program? Because I mean, I think that would be the challenge as a business owner. If they don't know how to start this, you've got to get the ball rolling some way, somehow. How should they start it?
Right. Well, the group that put this into place really tried to make this as simple as possible. If you go to the Kentucky Career Center's Lincoln Trail area webpage, and I'm sure you can make that website known, but it's ltcareer.center.org, expungements. Everything and anything related to what our experience, the documents, the templates, who's eligible, flow charts, everything is available on that one website. As a business, I can go there. I can read about who's eligible for expungements. How do I start with the documents? There's templates out there. We've tried to make it as simple and as pain-free as possible, so that you go to the website, you fill in the blanks, you put out there, hey, I'm open to hiring individuals that want that expungement experience, and you kind of take it from there. So we've really tried to make it as simple as possible. One-stop shopping, basically.
There you go. And it's all about solving needs. And you've got the needs of having a job, and people have needs or you have a needs of filling a job, and they have needs of having a job. So it is definitely a way to bring these two together. So again, the expungement program, the information listed at the bottom of the screen if you're a business and you want to get more information on how to start one. Myra, thanks for the time. I know you are just absolutely just busy over there at HMH with things going on, and I appreciate you taking time to explain this to us.
Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. We're all busy right now in today's new world, but I appreciate the opportunity truly to talk about something great that unfortunately was a victim of COVID, because we were ready to take this on the road and really just share with everybody that we could. And then COVID hit, and that kind of put that to a stop. But life goes on, and we really need to be able to get this word out to employers that there's people who want that opportunity. We should give that to them because we benefit. I just really am open to anybody reaching out to me directly for any questions. If you want any assistance, I know all of us are here to try to help get this rolling. So thank you for allowing me the chance to spread word. So I appreciate the role you play in our community as well.
That's great. Good news is hard to find, it seems like lately, but this is definitely good news for our businesses and folks looking for jobs. She's Myra Covault, Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer for Hardin Memorial Health. I'm Greg Milby, Community Storyteller, and this is Kentucky's Heartland.